What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and for today I wanted to give you guys an ABX comparison between these three characters: Ghost, Vulture, and Kraven the Hunter. Because of the fact that we recently received a change to ABX, making it so that on round 14 we're required to use speed supervillains, these characters are actually becoming more and more relevant, because in this category there's only 7 characters that can participate, and these 3 characters are actually the best choices. Ghost is by far the #1 character even without a uniform, and then second to him would then be Vulture. Third will then be Kraven. After that, no one else really compares. I'm sure one of the other characters can scrape together 100k, but these characters are probably the most reliable choices with very little investment needed. So I wanted to show that to you guys today. Now, if you have a uniform for Ghost, he's going to be vastly superior to these other two, because he's then going to be able to put up maybe 400, 500, maybe even 600,000 points on this day if you give him a CTP of energy. However, if you just build these characters similar to each other, their scores are not going to differ. Believe me, there's going to be about 100,000 to maybe 180,000 between them. So if you don't have the resources to pick up Ghost, go ahead and build Vulture, do special missions, and pick up his uniform, and you'll get pretty close to what Ghost without his uniform and without a CTP and very much invested in him can get. If you don't have the time or patience or money to build Vulture, since he's a semi-premium, you can then build the free option, which is Kraven the Hunter, and he's gonna get you well over 100k, maybe 150,000 if you invest enough in him. Okay, boys, so I wanted to give you a quick look at the build for all 3 of these guys, and then we'll jump immediately into a little bit of gameplay for ABX with all 3 of them. So I don't really have that much invested in either of these characters. You'll see for yourself. Just take a quick look at the build and we'll jump in. So right here I have no Urus on this guy. Skills at 6. He's rocking Power of Angry Hulk, and he actually has critical damage with a 110 proc. Now keep in mind that this is speed day we're talking about. So for speed day, every character should ideally have ignore dodge if you're building them specifically for this day. However, I'm not a really big fan of Ghost, so I don't see myself investing a ton of resources in the character, to be honest. I found him very underwhelming, and that's why I still don't have his uniform. For Vulture, I have a little bit more invested in Vulture because I actually like the character and I think he's pretty cool. So you'll see for yourself, he has Urus, he has all his skills at 6, and he has overdrive right here. He also has ignore dodge, critical damage, but he has invincibility. Obviously this is not ideal for alliance battle. You want to definitely give your characters a damage proc for alliance battle, and his uniform is actually had heroic, so he's the most built out of all of these characters. However, the #1 problem with Vulture is because of the fact that Vulture is a single target suppression type character. He really struggles to put up a lot of points in ABX because he's not killing the mobs, the robots, the minions, whatever you want to call them, fast enough. Vulture's skills just really have him focusing pretty heavily on the Frost Beast, and because he's not killing the mobs, his scores just slowly builds up. He's able to get over 100k very easily with casual gameplay, but it's not vastly superior to what you can get with the likes of Kraven. Looking at Kraven's build, you'll see that basically nothing is invested in him. You'll see for yourself right here, no Urus. Skills are all at 6 though. We're rocking overdrive, and you can see right here, critical damage, critical rate with 100% damage proc. So that being said, boys, let's jump right into some gameplay. Alright, boys, so the most important thing here is to make sure that whenever you're using your 5 or your 4, you're as close to the Frost Beast as possible. That way, the damage is being distributed to not only the Frost Beast, but also to the mobs, because you don't want to spend any of your time chasing the mobs. But if you leave them alive for too long, that's going to lower your score. So you got to make use of your AoE, or what little of it you have, because he only really has it on the 5 and the 4. I wasn't close enough to the Frost Beast there, so that kind of sucks. Lost some damage there. Also, try your best to keep the bar at 100%, because that's going to do wonders for increasing your score. Ooh, he jumped me as soon as I came out of the iframe, but it's fine. Oh yeah, always pay attention to when the Frost Beast is going to roar, guys, because he can basically one-shot you So whenever you see that he's about to roar, just use the 5 or the 4 because they will last pretty long and they will protect you basically from the full duration of the 4. If you use the 3, you're going to come out of the skill and you're still going to get hit by the roar. So just keep that in mind, okay? Ooh, that swipe almost got me. Nice. That's the one bad thing about Kraven and basically all 3 of the characters that you use in this stage today is the fact that because they're iframers, yeah, I call them iframers, okay? Just because of the fact that they're in iframes so much, the Frost Beasts will definitely always be beside you, but the mobs will be away from you for so long because they basically just stop moving while you're in an iframe. And you kind of have to wait in between skills to have them group up together. Ooh, we gotta be real careful. He's about to either roar. Nope, he jumped. I thought he was gonna roar or do his frost breath. The frost breath is actually pretty nasty. Yep, frost breath. Really? Wow, he moved back. The skill animation itself just moved him back into the freaking frost breath. That's actually really, really annoying. Not like it's a big deal. We didn't die, so that's all that matters. And we about to touch 100K, which is all that really matters, guys. So a very, very easy to play, free to play friendly option for you guys right here. So if you don't have Ghost, woo, dodge that hella quick. Anyways, if you don't have Ghost and you don't have Vulture built, you definitely should be looking towards Kraven because he's gonna get you over 100K with relative ease. Okay, boys? So let's jump out of here and I'll show you guys how the other guys perform. Alright, boys, so next up is Ghost, and we play him basically the same way we play Kraven. However, his 4 skill does no damage. And he's a little bit better than Kraven in the fact that he can grab the mobs himself and just pull them towards the Frost Beast. And that will actually help you. You want to try to make sure that you proc under 5 all the time, because that's basically where all of his damage is. He does have mind control, so that will slightly benefit you sometimes just to keep the Frost Beast off your back. I wish you could just mind control all the mobs and just have them hit the Frost Beast and give you damage that way, because this guy's damage is an absolute joke, especially for a premium character. Ooh, I guess it's a good thing we have that shield, so we don't have to worry about the roar. The only thing we have to worry about is the frost breath and obviously the meteor. So we're gonna try to keep the bar at 100% for the full fight. It's a little bit easier to keep the bar with this guy than it is with Kraven because he doesn't move around as much as Kraven. The fact that Kraven moves around so much is good and bad. It's great for getting around the Frost Beast and avoiding some of his attacks, but it's bad because sometimes he'll move from a position where he's safe to a position where a meteor is just about to land, and then he'll come out of the iframe right when the meteor is about to land, and then boop, it's on your head. Ooh, that was nice, that was nice. I was trying to time the 5th with the proc, but I also had to keep in mind that the meteor was about to land and I didn't want to get stunned. Nice, we got the proc, but barely any damage. Goddamn. I gotta get rid of some of these mobs. I wasted the proc there. I just wanted to get rid of some of these mobs, man, because I feel like they're making my score worse than it needs to be, and I lost the freaking evasion meter, so that kind of sucks. See if I can get the proc back. And I lost it again. I just wasted it. This run is just going downhill. So I don't even think we're gonna touch 150 with this guy, which is pretty pathetic. Let's see if I can get, there we go, got it. Yeah, so for a 50% attack buff leadership, a tier 2 passive that gives him an additional 10% energy attack, increasing his own DPS by 60%, and he was only able to give me what? An additional 17,000 points over Kraven? Really, like I'm telling you guys, the difference in score between all three of these characters is really not that big. So if you don't have Ghost, you don't need to worry too much, guys. Alright boys, so next up is Vulture, and Vulture should ideally give me something pretty close to what I got with Ghost, simply because I don't have a damage proc on him. But even still, that's not really impressive because he has a uniform. And I have like Urus and all kinds of stuff on him, whereas I don't have anything besides a 110 proc on my Ghost. But like I told you guys, the #1 reason why Vulture doesn't really shine here is because you can see for yourself, the majority of his skills just have him focusing on the frost piece, and by proxy sometimes he will take out a few of the ads around him. I have to literally go out of my way to clean up the ads with this guy. If he had more AoE, he would have been great because his damage isn't low. It's just that he's not killing the mobs fast enough to rack up more points. Well, his damage is definitely not high either. It's just not as low as it comes across here. And Vulture is probably the safest of all the three characters that we use because you can just go from iframe to iframe to iframe. Really, all you really need to do is 541, 541, and that's it. And you should easily be able to get you over 100k in this uniform. The only thing you really have to worry about is just timing your iframes so you can counter the roar and that frost breath. You don't really have to worry too much about the evasion meter or anything like that because he iframes so much that he's not on the ground long enough for a meteor to hit him. Yep, we're about to get hit by the frost breath. So it looks like we're gonna get probably a little bit more than we got with Ghost. But keep in mind that I have Urus on Vulture. Vulture has some ignored dodge on his obelisk, and he also has a uniform, right? So when you look at it that way, the score I got with Ghost compared to the score I'm gonna get right now with Vulture is really not that impressive. So in my opinion, if you don't have a uniform for Ghost, there's no real point in building him for this day. You might as well just pick up Vulture, buy that uniform, or just skip Vulture and the uniform altogether and just build Kraven. He'll be good enough to get you over 100k, and if you invest enough in him and play him well enough, you can probably rival something like this that I just got with Vulture by casually playing. But that's all I have for this one, guys. Like always, thank you so much for watching. Hope it was informative. Hope it gives you guys some ideas, and I'll see you in the next one.